Thanks for staying with us. So we're back at it again. Another story that caught our attention. We found the story on social media and we cannot but discuss it. A popular justice recently found out that his 3 children from his ex-wife are not his biological children after carrying out a DNA test. What are your thoughts on this? Again, join the conversation by tweeting to us at TVC Connect. Our phone lines are still down, but we'd love to hear from you. So, Nima, all of us are generally tired of all these DNA stories. Yeah, I know we're tired, but why is it that it's coming out more now than before? What's happening? This man said his wife, peculiar part of the story was his wife had moved out about 11 years. They are divorced. 11 years before he had moved out, and he found out that they said this children he's been raising were not his, and then he did a DNA test. Why are we seeing this in our society?
Okay, let me I will not go far on what we're saying. I will talk about this particular case in question. I feel that the justice, with all due respect, acted out of proportion and in a very selfish manner. The woman in question had moved out, so they are no longer married. The children, you found out they are not yours by DNA. You didn't have to go public with that information because these children are still within your household. As he wrote, they were raised by his wife, that he also did a DNA on our kids and found out they were his. I think too much ego sometimes. The things that we should put out publicly, we don't put out. The woman did not come out to dispute anything. They're not in court dragging anything. So there's no point we knowing.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And if at all, for anything at all, for the sake of the children, you simply tell them quietly, make an arrangement that, that is dignifying for the interest of the children. Everybody go to sleep. Life continues. But he did a press briefing.
So for me, listening to press briefing. So first of all, I'll acknowledge that what the man must be going through is horrible and must be painful. And, I cannot even understand where his mind is at now. To think that his first 3 children, whom he has raised, they've gone all the way to university, I think. And I think they said the youngest one is about 17. So this is their father, and these are his children through and through. But I acknowledge that what has happened is really painful. And sometimes, in the heat of the moment, you may not really think through your decisions. Now, but having said that, I have to agree with Nima, where I felt that for the sake of these children, there's a better way that it could have been handled. But from the tone of that press briefing, I think that probably the former wife had been giving the second wife issues. For me, it felt like he was trying to make sure that there was, put it out there that, see, this woman, first of all, this woman has left me a long time ago. Even the children have been living with her. Secondly, this one at home has taken care of these children like they were hers. No one would have been able to tell the difference. So for me, it was like, this was about the second wife. This was about maybe an issue that they're having. And I think usually the sort of issues that may occur will be first wife saying, former wife saying, well, since he married her, my children are not being taken care of, but monies are not coming, they're not going to school, maybe good schools, or they're not just getting the sort of attention she expects for her children, and blame it on the second wife. So in his bid to protect his second wife, because he referred to her on 2 occasions, how he felt that was really unfortunate that he had to also put her through that DNA testing to prove that her own children were his, But in that, I just still feel that for the sake of the children, because he mentioned about the first wife that whoever her boyfriend or boyfriends are, those children, right now, the carpet has been pulled from under them, just like as he is. And first of all, they've realized that their mother has betrayed all of them. And now the only father that they know seems to have just disappeared. Just publicly embarrass them as well. Publicly put their story out there. So they have friends that they usually hang out with, and they are talking amongst themselves.
And all of them now know. And these are like, they are 17. The last one is 17.
I was going just to add this last part out. I was discussing it with someone. I said, there's something about not opening your mouth and saying something. So you always be a doubt, like, is it true, is it not true? But when your own father has opened his mouth and has put it in paper, in press, in public, there's no doubt,
When I was reading the story, I was afraid for the man before I now got to the part where he had to do a DNA test for the second wife and her children. My fear was for a woman to have 1, 2, 3 in the same house with you, and they are not your children. Are you sure you do not have the problem? And then I went further and saw that he now did the DNA test for the second wife and realized that they were his. So that means that he had the capacity to give children to the first wife, but the first wife did not collect. She decided to take it from outside. Now, what I would say is, exactly. No, she collected from outside instead of collecting from the one inside. What I would say is, I think it's very important that we start paying attention to the decisions that we make. In as much as we try not to let the sins of the father visit the children, at some point it will come on the children. Now, if she had paid attention to how she decided to live and have children and give it to another man to take care of, she shouldn't feel bad that the man will decide to make it public. Because I know that the kids are going to be affected right now. Forever. But this man is hurt. This man is pained. And this is the way he just wants to put it out there. He doesn't care because right now he's working with his emotions. And it's okay to have that emotions. It's like saying, I beat you, and then I will tell you not to cry. You can't beat me and collect my cry. This is how this man has decided to cry.
Inside the house.
No, I may like to shout outside, though. It's my pattern, it's my choice. So we can't say that he shouldn't have. Right now, he's not in that space to even listen to anybody at all. He's feeling very betrayed. How can I marry somebody this long and not even one? He did not even mix the children for me to say, give me the middle one. Everything is for somebody else.
The perspective of the second wife who's having to deal with the fallout of that betrayal. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. This is a really sad story, but I'm trying to understand how the second wife must feel. The wife at home who had to now go through subjecting her children to DNA tests.
I would leave that to Miriam. But let me talk about Obiajulu's point of him being emotional and the need to be. He was emotional. According to that same press briefing he wrote, he addressed family members. He called her family, even though they were no longer married, and people came. He invited them, people showed up because of the interest of the children. You showed them the evidence you had. This happened since August.
Yes.
You showed them the evidence you had. You addressed the issue of you not being the father of those children biologically, and everything don't finish. You understand? No matter what that woman is bringing on now, no matter what right she's claiming, and I don't think she was. I read whatever back to back. She's not claiming anything, but maybe for the sake of putting facts out there, maybe so that you don't have somebody disputing your will, because there's a section of the Administration of Estates that allows you come as a dependent of a deceased person and claim some part of his estate that he didn't provide for you. But then, even then, there are ways to deal with this issue. You can have it written and read at the point of your death that, you know, these people I am disclaiming totally, and I don't think you should disclaim totally. Even as Muslims, we don't have rights over our estates, except a 1/3 of it. That 1/3 is to cover for issues like this. So if I have raised a child or I adopted a child who ordinarily, under the Quran, is not my Quranic heir, that child is provided for from 1/3 of the estate that I have free will over. You can cover those children out of the magnanimity of your heart and bless them. They don't know better, and they didn't commit any sin. The reckless life of their mother brought this upon them. But to make them pay for it for a lifetime is something I totally disagree about. And I know, even when you're asking the question of the second wife, she would not wish it onto these children.
So yes, talking about the fallout, the fallout would have been in the beginning, finding out that all 3 of the first children were not his, and so she had to prove. She had to now prove that her own children were his. So that's the fallout, where you now know that your trust has to be earned. You have to do something other than, you must believe me, I would never do that to you. But beyond that, I think what she'll be feeling really bad for her own children as well, because as far as her children are concerned, these are my big brothers and sisters, you know. Now that our father has come out to say this, do we sit these little ones down now and tell them, do you know that they are no longer your brother and sister?
You know, in the press, so everywhere.
Yes. The thing is, we have put it out there. These little ones too, God, you know they are not your brother and your sister. I just feel that with that press statement, you just brought in much more wahala into your home than if you had handled this privately.
I feel that the second wife herself has been betrayed. Because if you're in a marriage, it's a partnership, like I always say, and you have been raising these children. See, it's not easy to raise another woman's child. I'm going to say it here over and over because I have experienced it. If it's from your womb, it's different. You have been raising another woman's children thinking they were your husband's. And now, after how many years, you realize that all the labor you were putting, all the love, they do not belong to your husband. There's no blood connection. You have just been laboring for somebody else. Even as the second wife, she will feel betrayed. I believe so.
I don't agree.
And she may now start, after a while, after all the betrayal feelings would have, fizzled away, she will start counting her blessings to say, thank God, after all, my children are now the legitimate, I am now the first wife officially. You know, that sort of thing. But to take away that betrayal, it's not going to be easy for them to adjust. She has a lot of explanations to start making to her own children that these people are no longer...
Let me just respond to that. I do not agree that she will be feeling any betrayal. It's not her place to feel betrayal. I think right now, even what her role will be to mediate. What will happen is that she now finds herself in that position where she understands her husband's pain, but she has built a relationship with these children, and she's not so much involved in it that she can work to bring these people together. Her place is not a place of betrayal. Yes,
she's the one.
She is the one that will try to arrange. Yes, taking care of the children.
If it was matron that placed her child in the hospital,
that one is a different
no, it's not a different thing. It's another woman's child.
Yes, the thing is, you find yourself. You don't carry it on your head. That's the thing. It's not your fight. It's not your war. That's the truth.
It's my taking care of.
And that's what happens. You know, even apart from children, usually when you find situations like this where there's a former wife and then there are children, you find a woman who has come into a marriage second time is fighting the fight that husband and former wife is fighting. We were not part of it. It was because of that fight you found yourself. There's an availability for you to
Exactly. May I respond to Miriam to say that it is my taking care of. This woman has taken care of that children. And it's even possible that at the time she was laboring and taking care of those children, that first wife was giving her hell. That first wife was telling the children different things about her, and she was still,
trying to,
make the husband happy, make the children happy, make the children love her and see her as her own. Only for you to realize they are not even your husband's children.
Another story that we found online that I think is very, very interesting for all of us as a consortium of women, married women, to discuss.
Okay.
It's the story of changing name. Now, all of us changed our name, right?
Oh, I didn't change my name.
This one combined name.
You were smart.
You combined your name.
Can you please find the story?
Yes.
That poor lady was forced to.
Yes. So